a committee, the president has the power either to suspend or allow the chief justice. That is a discretionary injunction on the president, and only him alone. We are Ghana Bar Association. I was say on resign to me. The one case said damn the whole team because you should know law. That's what I'm telling you. So as a lawmaker, as a lawyer, you should not be talking like somebody who make coffin. Because no, you want to say fundaka. But as a lawyer, if you are talking like somebody, sabi only way, you know very well that that particular president alone. So why will you interfere? He can decide to or not to. But to say yeah, the name court because I exercise that is why the association has become some kind of a political movement. So for me, I think that we need to focus and stick to na Ghana for who say on mind by be Ghana for the emotional gullible individual just do anything and get away and become way relevant. And Ghana for demonstration almost as you see how they were treated. Nobody took them serious, you understand? So for me, I think that we really need to stay on track and make sure that near Ghana for deserve the panel. That is what we do. Communicators, me say, man, then we balance the equation. Then the focus will move from Boahene, then some more opposition. This is absolute rubbish that nobody should even consider. The questions I was is what we need to. Monies were given to you as director of National Signals Bureau. Monies, you cloned and created a separate account bearing the same name. The criminal intent alone can land you in jail because you're not supposed to do that. Then the gentleman went ahead to transfer money from this account to this account. What is his explanation? Says state in here is emergency or what state account they will transfer from You see, we don't need to give oxygen of publicity to some of this nonsense. See, yes, I party seminar. Me say on my way the because people will steal and will always find a way to spin narrative. Sabi about survival. Because never na branch na ya no crash say sabi onim nyansa. And na catch on because explanation ya obai. And the not just all beka. Sa attach ya na kan yo say why na kan yo. And you manufacture this nonsense, push it to the media, and you want the reasonable men of conviction in society to say why are there. No, so what is the motive behind this particular thing? Or beka when ya kasa there why are there na? Because you are not supposed to be financing political party within the operations of Boahene and Kahon. Again, are you supposed to finance events in Parliament? Parliament through the Sika Mobile, why not the moment? And you want one as for them. Sikana or the Kokoto estate in as for them. I think that you see, this thing is absolute nonsense. Focusing in the Attorney General. So you see, there be a Ghana General Siciano. Adia ba ko ama Ghana for to abati akufuado corruption. And Ghana need every single reasonable minded person out there is suspecting say the John Mahama government will be very radical, very vicious in dealing with some of these ruthless criminals. We don't care how you do it. Once you are within the remit of the law, you make sure that these criminals, these organized criminals, don't get away with their crime. It doesn't matter how they try to spin the narrative. In the coming days, they will be mentioning names specific, trying to accuse and implicate individuals. I don't care even if you give money to John Mahama. I don't care because I never do this movie. What I say. So how you wasted those monies in as for them? The Ghana for you say this Jessica the Koto surveillance equipment. In the end, you didn't buy. You ended up using the money to buy private properties. And I wouldn't send me Santino. You did all these transactions using bank account, doing transfer. When you know say this transfer always leave a back trace. Now say Obia a cracket or primary school grab a boss and no way. And this weak-minded person was the person mining friend said the whole intelligence organization. That tells you how porous this country is. If this weak-minded individual and are now in charge of the national security, it tells you the kind of national security that we had at the time. They are just exposing themselves, and I'll be very surprised if attaching as a person went through this thing and let it out. You see why recent time people are losing a lot of respect for so-called lawyers. Because you see, a lawyer is not about the degree on paper. It is about the clarity of thought, the reasoning acumen that you have, and how you are able to decipher things. Who said, "Never way as a way a reasonable men of society will not agree to this, they will impugn it, and once they impugn it, our integrity will become a casualty." If you are a lawyer and you don't look at some of these things and you think it's just political, we can just spin and throw this thing out there, me, I will see you for who you are, because when I see you next time, I will never respect you. You understand? But unfortunately, Ghana and Kwane Kaso Biko school, the just open so didn't want answer. I just acquired them for certificate. But yeah, you can't be a learned or be a very intelligent. You don't need a certificate. When the person open their mouth and they're talking, you should be able to know, this guy is very smart, very intelligent. That is all that Yakos Goko you. Yes, I just certificate do one answer. And that's nam no, we have the Kobitina nam. What are some American? We really need to be very serious in this country. Attorney General, when's the prosecution delay? Because I Ghana for a form. Yeah, that's not how ready they are. Say abanye now issues of this nature, you toy with it. Now they don't go through with prosecution. Trust me. After 1 year, the government will get dirty. So they need to do everything to ensure that these criminals and several other criminals out there, we go after them. Yeah, it's not just this one. Now, make Sky training as a form. Attorney General should make sure that because these people getting them prosecuted is so easy. Because even how they conceive those stupid ideas now enough to land them in jail. For instance, yes, a Sky train. Training the numbers as a cranny, and do more dama. Yeah, over Tenase as a board chairman, the pen and see papers. Oh, Matthias, Yamonkofa, the Edinburgh William Numera, Chrome had trained from crying Nibi. So that silly conception of an idea Nankasa is enough to land you in jail. And at the end of the day, they went ahead, pumped $2 million into an offshore account. But see, Sky training your mind. Now, easy. You see, we need to begin to allow people to suffer for their crimes. For instance, now make about the National Cathedral. It's one thing that I buying a giant that I will never forgive them. Because we all saw from the beginning. Even young men in this country they don't hold PhD. They are not lawyers. They are not medical doctors. They could see from their house that this was a stupid initiative that the state was venturing into. We have a Sh0ck, and India, in terms of technology, one rise to a point, and America, most of the companies are outsourcing most of their jobs to them in terms of IT. And do for a bank, me person me who me bank balance and as for now you route to call to somebody in India. Or the amount responses in as for because those jobs has been outsourced. Telecommunication companies in as for if you want clarity, they will route the call to other places because these people have become technologically savvy. People are taking advantage. So we are Maya. You train your people to take advantage of the digital economy. Yes, the Kosi Cathedral and Yamedia Bonia and Aumo Damadriwe, the 12th century, and Fantana say. That's why I told you, say, Yakofa or your fans. Yakofa, we are living in a digital world, and Yakofa Nipa, 12th century, and the Mobabe Gum, and Woodin Semumay. And the cathedral, some by a software as a form of mobile, a bank kutupa, and 58 Akoshiagu. I'm who said, yes, audit and a single silly decision that was made. Me, it is all about Sikana Yasino, even ideas now. If it is foolish, we need to find sanction people for that. And for me, that is what we need to do to set a stage. Say, so we are CEO, we are government, and as the or my baby shall say. You cannot be taking foolish decisions. Are those decisions, our high-stake implication on the fortunes of this country and get away because you are CEO? We need to make sure that we punish people for their crimes. So, Attorney General, there, or somebody, I'm telling you, because if he doesn't go through with this prosecution, every will be Ghana. I'm telling you, because the heat that will be coming. Regret is over here, your friend said. I'm telling you, because Ghanaians will never forgive him, and I know he will do. So I'm cautioning him, and I'm also urging him, he should go ahead. He should not lose focus. Some of these things coming up are absolute nonsense. Some of this nonsense being manufactured now be coming up, but he should be very careful, stay focused, and make sure. A single person be our enough way on him will be prosecuted because that is what Ghanaians want. They want the judiciary to be sanitized.
Yeah.
They want criminals to go to jail just to send a message to people within this government. Say, also, that is the fate awaiting you. You see, over the years, people sitting afar are coming to a conclusion. Say there is a certain collusion between both political parties to steal. That is the impression out there. So if you don't do that, then it will go to your friend saying. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. But we saw how these people stole with impunity, disrespected the people of this country. Make sure, say, even Ghana for more or more investment. These unwitting criminals cannot go scot-free. We need to make sure that we punish them for who they are, for what they have done for this, against this country. Say, going forward, you know, who say, or minor, say, because your minor fail to punish crimes. Or minor, so we state that there are two things you cannot do: show weakness, show mercy. The very moment you begin to do some of these things, you are done. But Obia will take advantage. Oh, your Muhammad, your Bechay, oh, wait there. And Chroma say, Asembsia now, software now, him for Nam, Nance, no Mokopacha. President, you can never come to me so a pacho. Because I don't have that jail. Oh, because Assembly and Semuna don't come to me. Now you know whom and him cry, you will not even come. You will not even come. So we need to do that. South Korea, are you aware that I'm president? The whole president. This is not the first time. Previous president because of Samsung way on jail, and several other high-stake individuals in other jurisdictions have suffered for some decisions that they made. But Ghana will be prisoner or you hear near or be contumely or hear near or comedy now. Now people are stealing with millions, and the same poor people in the name of emotion will come and they'll be singing praises for some of these criminals because we are a party for Nippon. We need to protect their state and some of these things. So some of these things, you know, a section of the media will be spinning it in a bid to justify for some that kind of false equivalence and as well. But you see, no smart or witty mind out there will fall for this crap. Nonsense is nonsense that has been manufactured just to sway the focus. But I am urging the Attorney General to stay on his ground and make sure, sir, he prosecute these people. The prosecution has started. He should not waver. He should go ahead and do it. Some of these nonsense will be coming about.
Because when we run a letter now, the one can once the transaction between Ghana Water Company Limited and the private account.
Yes.
Because 1.3 million Ghana cedis every month. That is that is 1.3, right?
Oh yes.
Because 600,000 Ghana cedis, and then what's a for every 2 weeks. To Kaboma, that's 1.3.
Yes.
Yes. And no, there one can once because I don't know. Now says Sikano kwa buying account.
Yes.
But we no just Sikana no what Sh0ck, no what diverted their call the private account.
Yes.
Services and also internet service. No, I buy there.
Yes. And you see that you no appointee, even President Mahama Kra a new right to move state money to his private account for no reason, and nobody should be defending these things. I don't know why people are able to find energy and conviction to defend some of this nonsense. The mere fact that the gentleman cloned account and signatory to those accounts are your account, you know, that is criminal intent, can be established, and you will need to suffer for that. So where you transfer money to, say me meti here in America already now finance me, you cannot use that to wriggle out of the Niama why. What I say na make say. The mere fact is that Niama na woyano were in direct contravention with established rules of engagement, bad books of the government, and then you have to be dealt with. Simple as that. Baby, as you cannot call and what we can later do with it. But for me, in some kind of question, because when I was here, say, would the Sikano Kotia Israeli company so how come they never catch and say, oh, the financing way? Sikano move from an account to Dino Kamasem, where he was able to pay for those Sikano Kamasem. Nayere properties are only in her name or Kamasem. A job Ben and all you come here, or to me, and yes, Sikano. That is why I make a choice. This lifestyle audit, we need to be very, 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 very way. Many property as people are in government today, we should put surveillance on every single individual. They are pushing money to properties they are buying, and their strategy. Most Ghanaian politicians, say, they will steal money, buy property, and they will put it in somebody's name.
Yeah, often it didn't. So
no.
So tracing it will even be difficult.
About 90% of Ghanaian politicians steal money, they buy properties, and they registered in relative or distant friend their name. So we are say state, and that is why we have intelligence distance. Say state near ready to delve into some of these now. You'll be able to find out and deal with them, and that is the best way. Some of these things for me, I won't fall for some of this nonsense.
All right, my make sure our message is 1 or 2 now. Remember Ivan Sobak, Ebenezer, Mokto, Udini, the MSA, and all the Sh0ck Bonnie amount. Was say no crepa and a more canoya. Tracy Bensa was it until I see these criminals and people going to jail. Jomahama, you are not doing anything extraordinary. Yes. I swear.
Yes.
Conscious Agbenu Akwasu was say I trust innocent. Na Neniaje or say what's it the Kobit now guy and Neniaje who do in Tracy Emudia Hinam when Yabra was but I think sir Tracy has some now what Trono. A deep it will take a deep-minded person to understand because Dana make us Ghana for by a Troyano. Ora na na Ghana when you have to abandon. Near the two abandon ora because you need some phobia we are in. Yes, and to say the innocent TK, ya chini panasha and obody, oh, wake out, send your beya, a yet to say, oh, no can't one year. Now, what is the kind of money? But now, given the 30 hours, this is one of some of come Obi. When the Papa Mark away, I see the 2 bottom, and I'd be my parliamentary select committee, and I'd be my one, you yet touch the bottom intention to come for your criminal. Remember, you know, you see, way I old playbook. Yeah, if you go back to Colombia. Why am I the and I'm a Jimmy, I'm a body, Mojimi, I'm a body, now I come see come son, I say. And then, Colombia, Pablo Escobar days. Do you know what he was doing? Or turn drugs, or couldn't pay you, or Chema here for. That was what he was doing, financing poor people. But it doesn't justify, say, exactly the point. It's an old playbook criminals have been using. El Chapo in the offense in Mexico. That's exactly what he's doing. They will sell drugs to destroy people, kill people. When you see what you feel here, what you $1 million for Barbara. But does it justify that? Not at all. The money is a crime money. You understand? It does not justify. So the Attorney General needs to sit up. There are a lot of I know be framing. Also 120 days, whatever. They don't care about anything. All that they want to see is to see these criminals in jail. That is the only thing that matters to them. Until that is done, nothing is done. So yes, because we saw what happened in this country. Yeah, Nipano movie and Senkomuyan for crank and now Benya Nipa Nimians no send real. Now sign Edina and when this would do crass 7 signs. And that pain, the Magana for these people must go to jail. All right, John Kwaku Sabi was Ivan is a great guy. Joseph Dawumo. Also, good morning, big man. Yeah, that's say. Yami Inshabo. Oba no follow no wa share. Na odo comment out to us. Ni Kyei Eddie. Mami assure say demonstration ni dey di hu nkoma grofo match pass ya wo mukoyi. They say the IPM eye sumbo no. Yeah. Aha, say sumbo na eye case because video na ba ya nyina ye hu bi ne de afanya market the bob post ni nasum. Ba afanya market kata or tro ye nra me kan ye no wo say post ni no di kan ball no no born bossa na afi na koma loko nyame nkwan collapse ye national service ni bi na brain nsuo na omde ne kwotwere edan bi ho e na parliament clerk bi be fa no de ne kwada restroom enye sanko collapse nke bete no ayo obituary ene ensema wa tworo bebre ndi sa no ono police ni di kan ball na because ye wo say after asumbo no onya energy to us so koye de na obeye nti at one point no kwada restroom at one point ye bread nsu anka wo collapse oh ye joker and I make say you see afenyo market is a joker you see in seven now can he's rather exposing himself so he's saying say the police officer na born asum and na command kayate
and I find it in so cool and the coy and Oba Onya then back and police officer. You see some of these things. You see, you are not maybe not going to so in a political campaign platform because there will be check a fact. You obey me out for
yeah.
The fact is we are talking about somebody who is a sitting MP, minority leader of parliament. You see a police officer in a uniform. You know the uniform symbolizes authority of the state. The person, because of the uniform he wears, you know very well, say, who are we MP? What's now on Sabon assume in a video, the best thing you can do is to just apologize to the people. You don't just try to spin the narrative. And you see, that is the old playbook of the MPP. Maybe I sometimes I'm surprised people don't see these things. I don't want an issue. You see how they are spinning the narrative. It's the same thing. This thing has happened. There is a video circulating. I am very bad for his image and then as a forum. Yet he's trying to spin the narrative. And there are dogs within the media who fall for some of these things and they're also pushing it. The fact is, why would a sitting MP attack a police officer in a uniform? A police officer no say nya wona wo ye demonstration ka o ma ho.
Yes.
And now Sh0ck is calling for equity.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the MPP as a political party are so patriotic to the sense that they care so much about Ghana democracy. Say Ghana for answering and this in John Mahama as judiciary. Now say since when? And more sense of nationalism and patriotism since when? Kroma in the last 8 years, some president appointees in Kroma saying they did not only threaten the foundation of our democracy, but endanger the very life of our people. We saw overriding tampering of our judiciary. Appointments, individuals are anymore quiet for staff, not just the Supreme Court. Now, High Court, your friend is saying. The appeals court, individuals are you do see obiasem na wudi tie nipa kro wi na yabawa baso na atamre da kosi Supreme Court. Whole lot of nasty stuff happened in this country. At that time, no, Sh0ck and Co could not save our judiciary because it was okay for them. For me, as a young man watching these people from afar, I see said these are fancy jokers out there that nobody should take them serious because we've gotten now me can say me chiro has say now I'm on social media we said that video were trending. The funny aspect of it and now man for air share but the impact of the message the people are now getting me say generation we don't threaten people me MP and I said me say generation we know I say I'm for a pep mouth social media now before no I say mama watakra na man for you on the tell people why you have to be respected. Tell people why this thing is not good and they should not go there. Don't threaten people. Say say. No, that shouldn't be the import of the message. So why yes I now we think say because you are just an MP and for that matter people respect you. You will end up in the gutters because people will see you for who you are. The mere fact is MP and yet the infantry and the power to attack a police officer in a uniform and instead of you to apologize, you are just trying to spin the narrative to make it look like the gentleman attack you. Your narrative doesn't even make sense. It defies logic, it defies reasoning and common sense. Because what's it Obama when you brew and I found no call baby and the do now buy and I was also going to be an answer saying does it even make sense in any way? So for me, I think that these people should be disregarded. Nana Mekacha said the MPP has now become a sinking enterprise. It's a party that is going down. Instead of them to elect reasonable men of conviction to bring the party back, there are a lot of intelligent people in the MPP. And Mekacha said, Obeti said, "Boahene Jakone sa adenimo wine Allah." These are men uti omonum kasa you could see say these are men of substance. These are people who should be leading the rehabilitation of the party, not an emotional stricken individuals who come, they open their mouth and they get people angry the more. MPP by oppositioning, Ghana for are even getting more fed up and angry with the way and manner they are acting because they become so much combative. This is a party that was known to be a party of intellectuals. Mahama Basie, Abadan station boys, Omo Kasao to Kura Otin China or Sianfim. But The intellectuals no more party no more. All of them have been relegated to the background, and all of them have become insignificant in the affairs of the party. And yet liberating quote unquote this bunch of emotional idiots and destroying the fortunes of the party. For me, I care about the MPP coming back as a strong political party to be the opposition we want them to do. You understand? But as long as they continue to allow these jokers, these attention seekers, to continue to dominate the news for bad reasons. Now, at the end of the day, no, the party will not get back. Opasa what's here? Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Once we are not quite as a country, they've suspended it. It ended up in another big dog fight. Dog bite dog. Kennedy, yes, and dog bite dog. Exactly. Yeah. So this whole thing, you see how? So we are Nipa now party. You know, you should be worried. This is a party under Kufuor time. High pay to be party of intellectuals and so forth. Taxi drivers from America and so forth. Of course, some Bakruma. The catches are what university. About university for corners. These jokers came into this country, they stole from the state, and now they've got him money talking nonsense on TV. Say, you see, they need to come down from the high horses. Arrogance, me say, in this space, our politics, in this space, our governance. Yeah, do you know why people become arrogant when they get political power? They be a funny inferiority complex. When you don't believe in yourself, you think that you have nothing to offer. You need external to hang on to become relevant. And Nipano on their own, he knows that he cannot compete, he has nothing to convince you. So Osikadie and as any other material thing coming back to complement and take care of those things he's lacking. And become so much arrogant to the sense that he's not even ready to listen to you again. When people lack wisdom and intelligence, they don't want to engage you in argument. So what they do is they become very vocal and very frontal. And the one in a can't say, he cannot survive. So I say, I don't talk. And the growing up, Uko school as a teacher, anyway, Timo, no, Sane, beneath it, and most of them, because they have certain intellectual weakness. I don't even want students to get closer to expose them. It's the reason why, when you will not even get close, they ward you off with that kind of behavior, that kind of aggression. And for me, the MPP, those Allah Nena Sephonum, Allah Minim say, were Giles or Bassian Babak. And those other individuals, they need to take the center stage and rescue their party from these criminals and attention seekers. Because as long as the MPP continue to be in the hands of these jokers, trust me, the party will go nowhere. But the party need to come back, regroup, and at least act as a reasonable opposition. Criticizing, and for me, tell me what moral authority does the MPP as a political party have at this time to be talking the way they are talking? But this is a party while wrecking the foundations of this country. They've destroyed this country. The economy of this country was on the downward spiral. And John Mahama by within 4 months was a wine. Look at how the dollar has been able to stabilize. What Bisa Onha is able to do this. Senka Baumiane MPP pencil and Kadi we see and can lectures a hold on more organizing Ukrumano and Kenya the Ketua. But here we are once again. People are not even talking about it. John Mahama is not even celebrating this particular feast. But it's a great achievement. What's me here? And the sea. So for me, I think that we need to stay focused. These people are ready to learn their lessons. Arrogance and no power. That kind of unwitty decisions no make at the time. It's the same. Fighting for any answer any argument. Now I'm catch out a Ghana Bar Association. Another group of people, they were just barking like dogs. They were not able to tell you what John Mahama has done wrong, and for that matter, that's all punish you be. But see, now what will be at reasons? And as you go back to what John Mahama has done. These are a crazy bunch of individuals because you see, the power to suspend or not to suspend Chief Justice, the Constitution, the President, okay, Article 146 now was or say, see, it may establish a premier facility. Now say you set up a committee. The President has the power either to suspend or allow the Chief Justice. That is a discretionary injunction on the president, and only him alone. We are Ghana Bar Association now say on resign to me. One case I said damn the whole team because you should know law. That's what I'm telling you. So as a lawmaker, as a lawyer, you should not be talking like somebody who make coffin. Because no, you want to say fundaka. But as a lawyer, if you are talking like somebody, sabi you know very well that particular president alone. So why will you interfere? He can decide to or not to. But to say you had no court because I exercise no chance, I said be a damn baby. That is why the association has become some kind of a political movement. So for me, I think we need to focus and stick to na yama Ghana for who say on mind by be Ghana for emotional gullible individual just do anything and get away and become way relevant. And Ghana for demonstration almost as you see how they were treated. Nobody took them serious, you understand? So for me, I think we really need to stay on track and make sure near Ghana for deserve the panel. That is what we do.